Hey, good morning. Well, actually, it's afternoon. Actually, it's about 12 o'clock on the dot right now. But good afternoon. Um, this is a different type of video than what you guys are used to me showing. I'm sure you all have seen and heard by now what happened to that beautiful soul, Miss Sonya Massey, who was executed by a police officer who came into her home per her request. She called them for help because she thought that there was someone lurking around her home. So she did what most people who would do at that hour, because I believe it was about 1 a.m. in the morning, and she was scared. And she, like I said, thought she heard some noises. She was the only one home at the time, and she thought she heard some noises outside her home and around her home. And she called the police, like I said, to come check out the situation, which they did arrive eventually. And somewhere along the lines, they executed her. And typically, I don't watch videos like that because I already know, being a person of color in this country, we already know how the story goes. It happens to us daily, and it's been happening for years at the hands of police officers, um, just feeling the need to unalive us when, in some of the situations, we weren't a threat to them at all. Um, so I usually don't watch stuff like that. I don't know what made me watch it. Um, and to my understanding, this happened on July the 6th. We, or the video was released probably like a week after that. So I want to say I saw that video, if I can remember, I want to say I saw that video probably last week, Friday. And today, by the way, is the 26th of July. So I want to say I saw about last week, Friday, last weekend, I mean. Anyway, and like I said, I don't really know what made me click on it this time, because usually I'll just keep scrolling. I'll read the post, and then if it's something, I'm like, nah, I can't watch this. Like, I just don't like to see stuff like that. But for some reason, like I keep saying, I watched it, and then I've instantly regretted watching that video. At the time, the only video that was shown was from the partner's body cam, his view of it. So, but like I said, I'm pretty sure you've all seen it by now. This is one that has absolutely devastated everyone, no matter the race. I mean, I've seen grown white men crying, irate, screaming at the top of their lungs as to about what they had just watched, and their feelings about what they just watched. And I just can't even believe that Miss Sonya Massey lost her life in the manner that she did, just by simply jokingly, in my opinion, jokingly stating the words, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Those of us who do believe in God, you automatically know that demons are real. And if you didn't believe before then, after watching that video, I'm sure you believe now just how real demons are. Because those simple words that she said, that demon immediately activated itself and did what demons do: kill, steal, and destroy. That demon immediately stole her life by unaliving her and destroying her family. Immediately. There was no reason for what happened to have happened. Zero. There is not a person walking this earth who has seen that video who would disagree. And you guys, I am so sad. Even like I said, even though I have seen that video over a week ago, and This happens to us often in America, whether you're a woman of color or whether you're a man of color. It doesn't matter. It happens to us so often that to a point we all become numb to it. But this time, I just, I'm just not. I'm not numb to this. I'm angry. I am tired. I'm just at a loss for words. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know, you guys. But I do want to send my condolences out to Miss Sonya Massey's family, her loved ones, her friends, her children. She had two young adult children. They're teens, but I want to say they look anywhere from between 16 to 18, maybe 19, maybe even 20-ish, the most. Her son, at least. Um, and then they lied to the family and told them that it was self-inflicted. Like, you added insult on top of the injury that you guys caused. This monster called her a effing crazy bitch while outside after he had done what he done, and he's talking to his partners who knew. His partners knew. They knew. The looks on all their faces, the silence was loud. They were all disappointed. They all had already known when they pulled up to that scene that this was some shit that he had done, and which I'm sure he had done prior to. And you can just tell that they were not happy with him to begin with. Coming on to that force. That's just the energy they gave. They all just stood there blankly staring at him and listening to him say the things that he said after unaliving an innocent woman, lying and saying that this woman attempted to throw boiling hot water on them when actually you told her to go to the stove to remove the stove because you didn't want a fire to break out. She did what she was asked to do. She was removing the pot from the stove to pour it in her sink. And like I said, when he made the comment, oh, you're not, I don't even freaking remember what he said, but it had alluded to the fact that, you know, he don't want to get by hot water or something, hit by hot water or something like that. And she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And he asked her, what, huh? And she repeated it just as calmly and lightly as I just said it, playfully, because as far as she know, everything was all good. I don't even understand how they came, what was the reason that they even came into her home. Because from the initial video, meaning from the start of them coming to her home, they were speaking to her outside of her home. She was on her porch. They were on her porch. They had done said what they said. They told her they didn't see anything and that everything was all good. They went to ask her if she needed help with anything else. She said no. She said, thank you. I love you guys. And it seemed as if she went to turn to walk back in her home and they were going to go on their way. But Mr. Sean Grayson had to ask further questions. How is your mental health? So already from right there, that lets me know that he had an agenda. He couldn't just walk away when he realized that there was nothing outside her home and when she said that she was okay and didn't need anything else. He had to make that nothing moment into something because he had an agenda the whole time. Why are you asking what how her mental health is? You're not equipped to help her with that. So why are you acting as if you were concerned, sir? That was just a way for you to step inside her home. And then once they get inside her home, now she needs to be ID. Why didn't you ask her for ID when she came to the door? They had no right and or reason to be in her home, to step foot in her home. Then he wants to know, oh, well, what took you so long coming to you answer the door? She said, well, sir, I just wanted to make sure I was decent. I wanted to put some clothes on and make sure I was decent. And she laughed it off. This woman was terrified. Her spirit knew that This was not going to be good. The look on her face once they were inside her home, she still had the 911 operator on the phone, and she didn't want to let that operator go. She didn't want him to hang up because she knew the look in her eyes, and she was looking at Mr. Sean Grayson. She kept looking at him with fear in her eyes. And he knew that. He knew that he was this big, grown white man standing, towering over her as she sat on her sofa, questioning her down, asking her for ID. She was very frazzled and very nervous. And yes, some may say, oh, well, she seemed confused. So what? To me, she seemed more afraid than confused. Sometimes when you're nervous and you're scared, you start getting confused. You start doing things that you don't do because you're just so nervous and afraid. That's what I saw. I didn't see a woman going through any mental illness at that moment, at least. She was very much with it. And they came into her home and stole her life. Innocently stole her life. That lady was only 36 years old. She had plenty more life to live. And he took that from her. He took that from her. I also have thoughts about his partner, that everybody's saying, oh my God, he was so shook up. The partner this, the partner, when he went outside, he was saying words like why, or acting scared. And I mean, not acting scared, acting like he was so distraught. Yeah, well, if he was all of that, why didn't he stop it? And trust me, I understand everything did happen very swiftly. But when you heard your partner yell, put the fucking pot down, you saw that woman didn't have a pot at the moment. She let go of the pot. Okay? She had already removed the pot from the aisle as she was told to do. Okay? He was in a far enough distance. Both of them were. They were on the other side of her kitchen island. Far enough back. She never posed a threat to him or even any of them. Never. He said, you better fucking not. Once she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, he instantly drew his gun and said, you better fucking not, else I'll shoot you right in the fucking face. She was so terrified and confused in that moment as to why was all of this, where was all of this coming from. She immediately let go of the pot that she was told to remove off the stove as it was moving on its way to her sink to pour out. She immediately let the pot go. The pot is still sitting there on her countertop as she put her hands up over her head with her oven mitts in her hand to try to protect her face, and she goes down and he shoots her in the fucking face, underneath her fucking eye. His partner draws the weapon as well, knowing full well, because you're in the moment with him, that this woman never was a threat. He didn't feel like she was going to throw any water on him. How come you did? He felt safe in that environment. How come you didn't? His whole agenda was to unalive that black woman that morning. From the moment he walked up on the scene. And I'm tired, you guys. We are tired. I am still devastated by what I watched. And that's going to stick with me for a very, very, very long time. And I just pray to God that that family gets justice. I know that he's already arrested and charged with first-degree murder along with 2 other charges. But those are just charges for right now. In my heart, there's no way he's going to get off on this, but you never know. We've seen it happen over and over and over again. You never know. Guys, I just wanted to come on and express my condolences once again to Sonya Massey's family. Again, her friends, her loved ones. the people who cared about her most, her dad, her children. I haven't seen her mom yet. I don't know if her mom is still with us, or she's just been so distraught she can't bring herself to come on camera and talk about it at the moment. But we've seen her dad, we've seen her son, and her poor dad. Her poor dad was told that it was self-inflicted. He had to learn from his brother that this was not a self-inflicted situation, that she was unalived by a deputy. And his brother told him, and he found out through the internet. I just couldn't imagine. I could not imagine finding out that my daughter or my child was unalived in that manner through the internet. Because the people who were supposed to, that you spoke to tell you that she was no longer here, told you it was self-inflicted. And let's not forget, they tried to stage the scene. Mr. Sean Grayson and his partner, whose name I don't even know yet. But let's not forget, they tried to stage the scene and try to put water on. They pour some water on the floor there, so that when the supervisor arrives, and that supervisor also knew. He knew. He was not pleased when he walked up on that scene. The first thing he wanted to know was, where's the gun? In other words, why is this woman laying here deceased? Where's the gun? Oh, she didn't have a gun, sir. She started to come at us with boiling hot water. Well, that doesn't make any sense. She's calling for help because she's scared there's an intruder outside or around her home. She called you guys just to boil some water and throw it on you. That sergeant or supervisor, he looked very displeased. He already knew. He's been in this line of work. You can tell he's been doing this. The scene looked staged. And he immediately picked up on that, which is why you don't see him have too many words or interactions with that monster, Sean Grayson. They literally poured water or knocked some of that water down on the floor to make it seem like he stopped her in the middle of her getting ready or tossing water on him. This woman's laid there still breathing. Regardless if it was a gargle of her blood, she was breathing. You heard her gasping. And this man said, that's a kill shot. There's no need for me to waste my med kit. As if he was playing some fucking Call of Duty game or some shit. And then, like I said, proceeds to go outside and tell this lie to his to his colleagues out there, and then call her a crazy F&B. I shed so many tears since then, you guys, as if this woman was my own personal family member. But I just want to encourage you guys, to stay prayed up, love on your loved ones daily, whether they're near or far. Because while we can sit and watch these videos and maybe talk about them on our channels or our platforms, we would never think that it could happen to us. And her father said the same thing. We see this all the time, but you would never think that it would happen to you. I think that it could happen to me. I don't trust it. So I choose to stay prayed up. And like I said, I just choose to love on my loved ones as much as I can and as hard as I can while we are all still here to do so. I'm going to go ahead and end this video, you guys. But as I said, I just wanted to come and express my condolences, my thoughts, my feelings about this. This one really, really did a big one on me. It really did. Not to say that the George Floyd didn't, and the many others, women. She's eerily. She has a striking resemblance to Miss Sandra Bland, another black woman who was unalived at the hands of police officers while in custody in her jail cell. And I don't even know to this day that we even got answers as to what happened to her. We don't know what happened to Miss Sandra Bland. But Sonya and Sandra look identical to each other, you guys. It's crazy. But I just want to tell you guys, I love you. And like I said, love on your family, love on your people, and pray, pray, pray. Pray, you guys.